Welcome back. Well, would you like a glass of fine wine? Well, they're going up for auction, but you won't be popping the cork anytime soon. Africa's first non-fungible token wine function will be from the 18th to the 25th of April. 5 producers are taking part, and the prices range from 150 to about 750,000 rand. Auction house Strauss Co says the auction will raise awareness of South Africa's fine wine industry. So to tell us more about it, we've got Roland Peens from the auction house joining us for this conversation. Roland, thank you so much for your time this morning. But let's talk a little bit about South Africa's fine wine market and the industry in itself in terms of just how it's grown over the past few decades.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning. Yes, the fine wine market is quite different to the everyday drinking market that you might find at the supermarket. Fine wines are rare, they come from a certain place, and over the last decade, the South African fine wines have really boomed. Not only are they getting much higher prices, but critics around the world are giving them the highest scores, and we really are now on par with the great wines of the world.
Yeah. I mean, how significant is that, and just in terms of a value proposition perspective?
Well, I always look at it as a multiple. If you look at the French wines, the most expensive wines are about 20,000 times more expensive than the cheap ones. But in South Africa, it's only a few thousand times more expensive, the more premium ones versus the entry-level ones. So our wines are remarkably cheap compared to the rest of the world, and that's what we're showing, that we offer a really great value.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Roland, many people will be asking, why would I pay such an exorbitant amount for wine?
Well, these are NFTs which we're selling, so it's a collection of wines. So in the Villafonte lot, for instance, we have 120 bottles within this NFT. So it's a great investment proposition. And of course, if you don't want to trade it down the line as an NFT, you can sell it, you can drink it, you can withdraw the wines, you can give it as a gift. The NFTs make an incredible way of packaging fine wine. And another really important point about NFTs is on the back of every South African wine bottle is a seal code. And we can actually put that seal code now on the blockchain so that when you trade your NFTs, you know exactly which bottle you're getting. And that's really a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, you're speaking here about even how 4IR now comes into play when it comes to the way in which we're even trading in wine as well, and perhaps even maybe even an educational mandate a little bit. Let's give you a little bit of an educational option here. How significant is it to actually start the process of investing in wine, and why should a person actually think about even investing in wine?
Well, it's uncorrelated to other markets. So you'll see that fine wine has grown really well over the last 20 years, and it doesn't follow the stock markets. It doesn't follow commodity prices, for instance. It really is a trade in itself. And what's important about the NFT is it's a fantastic way of wrapping fine wine. It allows you to trade it without all the paperwork required, without all the trust issues required in trading wine. The NFT allows there to be transparency in the transaction, and all of the transaction details are on the blockchain. So it really makes for a very efficient way of trading wines and investing in wines.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about trading in wines, investing in wines, how long can I keep it for? So let's say that I've managed to get this investment. Can I keep it all locked up in a cage or locked up in the cellar for about 20 years, 30 years or so, and then, you know, one day decide to open up a bottle and everything will be still in the perfect condition that I bought it?
Well, at Strauss, we've auctioned off 200-year-old wines. We did the Grand Constance last year, which was 200 years old. And the wines within this portfolio, yes, they can age for a very long time. When you buy the NFTs on strauss.co.za, you can actually keep them until maturity without having to pay any storage costs. So the Meerlist lot, for instance, is available until 2034, and that will be stored at Meerlist until maturity. So you really have a very long trading window or opportunity to drink them as well.
Sure. But then you see, it's all about understanding and hopefully being able to train the palate to understand what a good wine is, what a cheap wine is, and how to decipher between the both as well. But how do we start with that? I mean, being able to decipher the good wine, the cheap wine, the expensive wine, and being able to train your palate in that regard.
Well, the more you know, the more you see, the more you know, the more you drink, the more you know, the more you study, the more you get to understand fine wine. And it really is a language. So if you're a novice and you want to get into fine wine, get some friends together, go out and buy some wines and taste them critically. There's lots of content on the internet. Learn about wine, study about wine. And it's like anything. The more time you spend with it, the more you'll find out about this wonderful language and industry of fine wine.
Yeah, the wonderful language, can it actually translate into a sustainable business strategy or sustainable, lucrative business? I'm thinking for individuals that would like to start something new or diversify their portfolios or diversify even their market and what's being on offer. Can they use this as a means of diversification?
It's certainly not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is an asset to invest in, a passive asset. You need to leave it for a long time. The timelines in wine are very long because they age so very well. So don't expect to buy today and sell tomorrow. One needs to build up a portfolio of fine wines and keep on investing it, keep on trading it. And at Strauss and at wineseller.co.za, these are great firms to look at to see what's happening in the fine wine market. So I would say rather go in small from the beginning and build up your portfolio as your language and as your experience in fine wine increases.
Roland, we're certainly giving us a challenge here for this Easter weekend to start thinking about fine wine. But thank you very much for your time this morning. Roland Peens is from the Managing Director of a Wine Cellar.